Hey guys, and welcome to our new settings series. I'm sure you've seen a lot of our video content about being safe online, but we have received quite a few requests to go over the privacy settings on the various social media sites. So here we go. Social media sites really started to kick off in the mid-2000s. Facebook, one of the oldest and most established social media sites in the world, was originally founded in 2004 by Mark Zuckerberg, along with his fellow Harvard College students and roommates. Originally, its founders limited the social media sites to Harvard, Columbia, Stanford, and Yale students, and then it expanded out to other Ivy League schools. Eventually, in 2006, anyone over the age of 13 years old could register themselves as a Facebook user. They were in the limelight a couple years ago thanks to the Cambridge Analytica hack. And if you don't know what that is, it's cool. There's so many of them that are going around. But you can watch a really nice documentary on it called The Great Hack on Netflix. If you want to take it a bit further, you can watch The Social Dilemma as well. They're going to freak you out. You're going to want to run from social media, but that's not the point of them. It's just to show you what they're doing with your personal information. Facebook has upped their game quite a lot recently, and they've actually made it quite easy for you to do yourself. You probably would have heard in January they also had another scandal that went around, which is what we call the WhatsApp privacy scandal. But that's a totally different video, okay? This series over here is probably going to be a couple of parts, I'm sorry. But I do want to show you the basics behind it and then do quite a deep dive as well. Facebook does break it down into sections, so I'm going to do the same for you. So what you're going to do is you're going to log into your Facebook account, either on your mobile device or even on the website. I prefer the website, it's just a lot easier to see everything. You'll then go to the drop down in the top right hand corner, which is your account, go to settings and privacy. This gives you two different sections for the privacy bit. You can either do the checkup or the shortcut, and I find it quite ironic that the shortcut is called that because it's not really short at all. That's the deep dive that I was referring to earlier. So for this, we're going to do the privacy checkup. Short, simple, to the point, it's by little blocks. And Facebook walks you through it step by step. So the first one is you can see what you share. This is around your profile itself, so the information that's live on your wall for everybody else to see, your posts and your stories, and then of course any person that you may have blocked. When we look at your profile information, the top two sections are super important. This is your phone number and your email address. I would not put this live onto my account, so as you can see it says only me. And the reason is that social engineers or hackers like myself, people hackers, we go onto various social media accounts and we look for your phone number and email address to do a phishing call, so a voice solicitation or a phone call to gather some private information we can use in a later attack, or we use your email address to send out a phishing email. And what this is generally is around targeted phishing attacks. So we see something on your Facebook that you like to have checked in, you've declared what you've done, and we use this in an attack for phishing. So hi, we see you've recently gone to this restaurant. We would really like a service review. Please let us know, follow this link, fill in the form. And that's where they steal all your information. Then you're going to see it asks you for date of birth and if you want this to be public. And you'll look at me and say, but how else are people going to remember my birthday and wish me on a special day? But it's also the first 6 digits of your ID, so please be careful with that kind of information being publicized on any social media. I know we want to feel special on our birthdays, but it could actually be a little bit of a problem. Your hometown, your address, and your current city. Try to keep this as generic as possible. Facebook do want it, obviously, for targeted marketing and seeing, areas and things like that. Rather keep it to provinces, cities, or states, depending where you are in the world. It's just safer than having creepy people follow you home. Your relationship, your friends, and following. This is going to be a little bit difficult to explain, especially when it comes from a social engineer's perspective, but you should only have this activated for friends. I think the rule in general is friends only, not friends of friends, not public, even if you are an influencer. And what happens is that hackers go into your accounts. Sometimes they can't get all the information out of you, especially we find this when we get given a list from various companies to look at their employees. So the cyber professionals are generally better, but not always, and we'll find that information from your spouse or your friends because they're posting photos of you and your kids and your dog, and we find out their names, and then generally your password is your kids or your pets' names. So please be aware of that, and rather keep it as private as possible. And it's the same with right at the bottom when you see over here it says people, pages and lists that you follow. Again, if we see that you like a specific business, we could send you a voucher or something to get you to click or download something which is quite malicious onto your system itself. Your posts and your stories. So your future posts versus your past posts. I find specifically with your past posts, it's very creepy when someone likes your post from 10 years ago. So I try and limit it as much as possible. And again, your current posts and your current stories, just keep it to friends as well. You might have it in some instances where you have a bit of a rough night, someone takes photos of you and publishes it online. You don't want anybody to just be able to see that content, but I'll get to a little bit more on those drunken whoopsies a bit later. Blocking. So any person that you don't want to see your content, you can add as many as you like, you can have as few as you want. It doesn't really matter. This is where you basically see who you've blocked and if you want to add more to the list. Remember to block and not report a person or a post. The reason is that if you report something, Facebook loses the content. If you block content or a person, if you need the information back or you've got a police case number, Facebook has to give it to you if it is blocked. So block, don't report. Okay, the next section, how to keep your account secure. So your password, two-factor authentication, and any login links or login alerts, should I say. Your password needs to be kept private. It can't be given to Tim down the road. Every single thing is associated to your password. It's your online identity. Please ensure that it is long and strong, because that obviously means that it's harder to crack. There are a lot of passwords out there that are on the internet, so please make sure that you're not part of that. You can actually go into a site called Have I Been Pwned, PWNED, not pawned, not the dodgy version. Ensure that you have uppercase, lowercase, special characters and numbers, or make it a lot easier and use a passphrase. So passphrase is a sentence that you use the first letter of each word to create that password. Use jokes, song lyrics, Bible verses, movie quotes, whatever you're into. Use one of those because it's easier for you to remember. Songs are obviously quite catchy. By the time you have typed in your password 50 times, by the end of the month you want to change it anyway, so ensure that it's regularly changed as well. Two-factor authentication, or MFA, multi-factor authentication. This is Facebook just checking that you are who you say you are in two different ways. So whether it be facial recognition, thumbprint recognition, OTP, one-time PIN, or even Facebook sends you a code to your phone itself. Totally up to you which one you want to use, but rather have it on just in case someone logged into your account. Okay, control your alerts. So if someone has logged into your account from Australia and you have never been to Australia, this is where you can panic and go, someone's logging in on my account. You can relax, go into your account and change your password. If you're not getting these notifications, you don't know if someone is logging into your account. So Facebook allows you to do it on either the Facebook notification, so it pings a notification to your phone. It can send it to Facebook Messenger, or it could send it to your email address. Choose them all, choose one, it doesn't matter, rather have it on. And now we're going to go to how people can find you on Facebook, so your creepy stalkers. Friend requests, your phone numbers, and then search engines. Okay, so you're in control of who is on your friend group. If you haven't spoken to them in a couple of months, why are they friends with you on Facebook? The more friends we have, the more addicted we are to social media because of FOMO, fear of missing out. We love the likes, the loves, the shares, the comments. We're quite addicted to that. So you can have a look here. You can see who is allowed to send you friend requests. I generally say friends of friends. It's a bit difficult when you don't actually have a mutual friend, you can't find the person. But if you have it open to public, which is the other option, you'll probably get about 500 friend requests within a month, and you've probably never met them, and then some creepy people, or you think you've met them so you just accept them anyway. If you don't know them, you don't accept a person on social media. Like, you have to have met them in person. That's a rule. It also shows you over here your pending friend requests. Now, I do know this person, however, I'm not 100% sure if it's their actual account or if it's someone who's made a duplicate account. You should probably just pick up the phone and ask them if they are this new person, because there's no profile picture, so I find that a little bit dodgy. Your phone number and email address, so can people look you up using those two things? I say no, because email addresses are quite public, it's public domain, then anybody can send you friend requests, and it's the same with your phone number. Like, hi, I got your phone number from Jerry or whatever. You don't particularly want some creepy people sending you friend requests, and a lot of the time this is how catfishers get hold of you as well. Your search engines. So is your information on a public domain? Now, with social media, social engineering, if I get a list from the company, I generally look at X person's name. I will then type it into Google, because if it's not on Google, it doesn't exist. That's the rule. And with the search engine request, if you have this little slider as on, it will then show me your Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever social media account that you have. It will show me just by doing a Google search. So no, we don't want Facebook to have access to this, so you don't want it to be linked, and also check it across your other social media platforms. Okay, your data settings on Facebook. Any applications or websites that are connected to Facebook, as well as your facial recognition. Okay. So apps and websites. At the moment, you can see I don't have anything connected to Facebook. However, Facebook is a multi-billion-dollar company, and they've never once asked you to pay for their service or pay for a subscription. But they need to make their money back somehow. And they generally use targeted marketing. So anything that you like, websites that you may go on to, not through Facebook, but through Google, they track this information. This is how it's generally connected. Go through here every couple months, see what is connected, and then just remove what's not applicable. It obviously will bring back for targeted marketing, and then potential privacy invasion and hackers attacking through various different mediums. This one over here, the facial recognition. Remember I was talking about the nudes, the whoopsies, and the drunken moments. So someone may have taken that bad photo of you, published it online. If you have this slider on, this means that Facebook automatically recognizes you. So even if you didn't want to be tagged in it, or your friend wasn't going to tag you, it could potentially automatically tag you in it, which could lead you to be fired. A lot of companies actually look at your social media accounts to see what you're up to and if you're still reputable as a staff member. And then last but not least, your ads preferences. So again, referring back to targeted marketing, the first page actually just shows you how Facebook learns about you and what they're using, and they also want you to kind of tell them what you like in order to figure out what they should be trying to sell you. I know it's a whole complicated kind of process, but this whole section will just kind of nicely sums it up. When you click next, it's going to then ask you the profile information. So what can they use in your profile to then target and market and send you adverts. So your relationship status, if say for example you're engaged, they're going to start sending you wedding stuff. Yay, exciting kind of moments. Your employer, job title, education, there's a whole bunch of things that they can obviously add into it. I'll show you if I do open the slider, it doesn't actually do anything, it doesn't show anything underneath. But then it looks into your actual profile to see if you've added anything. If you haven't added anything, then it just annoys you and asks you to please add it in. Okay. And then your social interactions. Again, your likes, your loves, your shares, because they want to sell you stuff. So the more stuff you obviously like, the more they can sell you. Okay, and that's it for the privacy checkup. It's super simple, like I said. Please look out for part 2, which is the deep dive. It's going to go into a lot more information. However, if you did enjoy this or you'd like to see more information, please follow any one of our social media pages: Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Last but not least, of course, we have our blog on the Cyberlinks website. Have a good one. Bye.